Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for attending this important press conference today, announcing the results of our campaign Operation Auto Guard, which tackles auto theft across the region. Today we'll have 4 speakers, and starting to my left is the Ontario Solicitor General Michael Kerzner. Following him will be York Regional Police Chief Jim McSween, and then York Regional Police Number 4 District Inspector Ahmed Salia, and Equite Association Vice President of Investigative Services Brian Gast. There will be an opportunity for Q&A after the formal presentations. So now I'd like to introduce the Ontario Solicitor General, Michael Kerzner.
Good morning. I'm really honored to be here today and joined by my colleagues from caucus in the Ontario Legislature. I apologize, Logan Kanapathy, Laura Smith, Daisy Way, Chairman Emerson, it's wonderful to see you, and members of the York Regional Police Service Board, Mayor Del Duca, and Mayor West. Thank you for joining us. I also want to acknowledge Minister Calandra and Minister Parsa, who are not with us, but may join us shortly. Our government's commitment to public safety is absolutely unwavering. It is constant. The people of Ontario have called for action to combat auto theft, and this government has delivered. There is an urgency and relevance for us to be here today. Public safety is amongst the highest priorities for this government. And as I have said before, we all have an inherent right to live safely in our own homes and communities, and we will always have the backs of everyone that keeps our province safe. They dedicate themselves every day to public safety, so we can wake up our kids and say goodbye to our loved ones in the morning. We can see our kids off to school. We can go to work, and we can shop, and we can pray. For Premier Ford and I, this is so personal. And right here in York Region marks the exact reason why our government has acted in the first place. We have criminals who feel that they can steal our cars whenever they want. And it's not only here, but it's all throughout Ontario, and it is completely unacceptable. Earlier this spring, I could not have been more clear to those who are engaged in criminality, who want to steal our cars. I said to them, we are putting you on notice. We will put you out of business. Our government is stepping up, and we're putting our foot down on crime. And with this funding, YRP will have increased resources to fight auto theft where the criminals are, and together we will get it done. I want to say this about York Regional Police, led by Chief Jim McSween and his exceptional command leaders that are with us today. Through their leadership and exceptional talent, both civilian and sworn in this building and throughout the YRP network, and with the support of the Police Service Board, their dedication to keeping their community safe is unwavering. And I know for them it is personal as well. I visit this building many times, and I've had an opportunity to drop into other detachments at YRP. There is an incredible spirit of those who serve YRP every day. They want to keep their community safe, and they do. This government understands that we need to do our part to continue keeping the residents and businesses of York Region safe. And just this year, we have made some incredible investments. Our dedication to public safety can be seen through the targeted investments we have made just since the spring. The $112 million to crack down on violent offenders by enhancing bail compliance programs, making basic constable training free of charge, waiving the fees at the Ontario Police College so we can have more cadets who want to become police officers and have more boots on the ground. Just this past week, I attended at Police College in Elmer, and I saw the 548 amazing cadets that will go all throughout Ontario, including our First Nations police services. I saw the YRP cadets that will be here real soon. And I can assure you, I will always advocate with my federal and my provincial and my territorial counterparts on the importance of combating auto theft. I said at our recent meeting in Bromont, Quebec, at our FPT meeting, and specifically I said to my counterpart, Minister LeBlanc, you have to meet me at the border. You have to see for yourself. You have to meet me in the Port of Montreal. You have to help me open up a sea container so we can make sure our cars in York Region are not going out that way. Just a week ago, Premier Ford and I announced the successful recipients under our new Preventing Auto Theft grant, which totals $18 million. And I'm here today with my colleagues from the Ontario Legislature because YRP is receiving $900,000 over 3 years to support Project Inhibitor. This is just one component of a broader action plan underway to help combat and reduce vehicle theft and put organized crime rings out of business. We're here because things matter. The rule of law and public safety will always matter, and it will matter to my colleagues and our government. Before I conclude, I want to leave you with one last thing. The time to act has never been more important than right now. We believe in our province and in our great diversity and everything else that makes us so special. We believe in our future. Ontarians will always be able to depend on us, on YRP, and everyone that keeps Ontario safe. On behalf of Premier Ford and our government, thank you, Chief McSween, your command leadership, and everyone here at YRP. We will be with you every step of the way. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.
So good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Before I get into my remarks, my thanks to all of our elected officials who've taken time out of their busy schedules to join us here today. And of course, you've heard from our Solicitor General, the Honourable Michael Kersner. Thank you so much, sir, for all of your support to policing across our entire province. The Chair of our Police Services Board and Chairman and CEO of the Regional Municipality of York, Wayne Emerson, members of our Police Services Board, member of our Police Services Board and Deputy Mayor of the City of Vaughan, Ms. Linda Jackson, and other members of our Police Services Board here today, Mr. Mario Cordellucci and Madeline Bodenstein. Thank you all for being here. Mayor of the City of Vaughan, Stephen Del Duca, Mayor of the City of Richmond Hill, David West. Also, two of my deputy chiefs are here today, Deputy Chief Paulo da Silva, Deputy Chief Al Almeida, and Superintendent Graham Beverly as well. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I also want to thank our corporate communications section who I think gave you a real glimpse into some of the amazing work our women and men are doing out day in and day out in our communities. And this, I think, brings the citizens of our region into that fold when you see how some of this work has gone on. We're pleased to have the opportunity this morning to report on the results of the 7-week project, Operation AutoGuard. As you know, we launched this initiative in September with a press conference at our number 4 district headquarters in the City of Vaughan. Operation AutoGuard was a combined campaign of crime prevention efforts and targeted enforcement with a focus on disrupting organized crime groups who steal the vehicles and ship them overseas. As you're all aware, this is a growing problem in our region and across the GTA, with a 2023 projected increase in thefts up over 200% over the last 5 years. Last year, we had 3,187 vehicles stolen in York Region, and in 2023, we've had 4,294 stolen so far, and are on pace for a total of 4,637 vehicles stolen by the end of this year. And that's just in York Region. Brian Gast, Vice President of Investigative Services at Equité Association, is here today and will address the broader economic impact of auto theft across Canada. But I can tell you it's more than $1 billion a year. We know that combating these extensive criminal activities will take more than one campaign, more than one police service, and more than one approach. But today, we're very proud that the hard work of so many of our members during AutoGuard has resulted in success. Inspector Salia from 4 District will be taking you through those results very shortly. Displayed here, you can see the variety of tools and technologies these thieves employ, making the thefts appear almost effortless. These thieves are often brazen, stealing vehicles from crowded parking lots, taking mere seconds to steal high-end vehicles from residential driveways. They work in teams to scout out the vehicles in advance, then return in the dead of night to complete the theft. The enforcement aspects of Operation AutoGuard was definitely a significant success, but we all know enforcement alone will not solve this surge in vehicle thefts. We historically have worked with our policing partners on auto theft investigations across the Greater Toronto Area. We also routinely involve our community partners, such as neighborhood watch programs and liaising with security at local malls. But during Operation AutoGuard, we took hand-on steps to actively engage our community right where they live. The good work, the amazing work of our crime analysts created the heat maps you see here today. And our Operation AutoGuard team used this invaluable data to make a real difference in preventing these thefts. The maps, as you've seen, clearly identify specific neighborhoods that are prone to vehicle thefts and which residences in these red zones have high-risk vehicles registered to their owners. That allowed us to approach homeowners directly, letting them know they are at risk of having their vehicles stolen, and gave residents the opportunities to take an active role in crime prevention, because we know we can't do it alone, and crime prevention is a shared responsibility. Our approach included having officers from our auxiliary, community services, and our community-oriented response officers and units fan out across these neighborhoods, handing out cards with crime prevention tips in multiple languages, and give away more than 24,000 Faraday bags used to block the signal duplicating devices that replicate key fobs. Officers also distributed Faraday bags when conducting traffic stops and while attending various community forums and events. During the operation, we attended more than 100 locations where we educated citizens on auto thefts and how to prevent them and protect themselves. These locations included City Hall, community forums in Markham, Richmond Hill, and Vaughan, as well as religious institutions, malls, parking lots, and car dealerships. We believe our proactive activities had a significant impact in our community at large, but also in the specific neighborhoods being victimized. But our crime prevention and enforcement efforts don't end here. And as you've heard, and we thank sincerely, we are grateful for the Province of Ontario's $18 million funding through the Preventing Auto Theft grant, of which, as you've heard, York Regional Police will receive, over 3 years, $900,000 to continue this important work. We will be spending this money wisely on data-driven enforcement, dedicated investigative teams, and acquiring specialized resources and equipment. The funding will also help us expand our data collection and analysis efforts to better examine links to organized crime and other criminal activity. As the current president of the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, next spring, I will personally be bringing forward a resolution to address auto theft, specifically in the following areas. The OACP will be urging those responsible for the registration of vehicles to audit their processes and implement practices designed to eliminate the fraudulent registration of stolen vehicles. The resolution will also ask the Government of Canada to strengthen and fund border controls to prevent vehicle exports in order to disrupt organized crime. And finally, to require vehicles sold in Canada to include effective security devices. Operation AutoGuard, unfortunately, also highlighted the concerning trend of accused people already facing charges and on strict bail conditions, who are at large in their community and continuing their criminal activities in their neighborhoods. Included in the hundreds of charges laid in AutoGuard were 8 breach of probation, 17 failed to comply with judicial release orders. So as you can see, many people getting out and re-victimizing our community. We are working with the federal government officials to improve those processes. We recognize we need multiple strategies across all levels of government, law enforcement, community agencies, and our citizens to end auto theft. We're committed to continuing this important work in collaboration with the federal government, the province, the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario, and neighboring law enforcement agencies. Sincere congratulations to all involved in our Operation AutoGuard, and thank you for the work you've done and continue to do. And a reminder to our community partners and residents that crime prevention, as I mentioned, it is a shared responsibility. With safer communities, safer communities will result. That's something we can all be proud to work towards. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Ahmed Salia, the inspector assigned to 4 District Headquarters in the City of Vaughan. I'd like to echo the Chief in thanking our partners that are present here today and throughout the province. The importance of these partnerships cannot be overstated. Over the last several years, vehicle thefts have taken us by storm, and it's important to understand that it's not just happening here in York Region, but obviously provincially and nationally. As indicated earlier, over the last 5 years, York Regional Police is on trend for about a 200% increase in vehicle thefts. Make no mistake, this is organized crime. Organized crime looking for opportunities to exploit and profit from our communities. In response to this, combating auto theft, York Regional Police has undertaken a number of different auto initiatives, specifically here with Project AutoGuard. It's a 3-pronged approach: crime prevention, advocacy, and enforcement. It's also important to highlight that this operation was data-driven. It was intelligence-led. The same data that we use to leverage for crime prevention is the same data that we use to conduct enforcement. And what do we mean by that? We can tell you that 90% of the vehicle thefts were happening along the region's southern corridor, along Vaughan, Markham, and Richmond Hill. We can also tell you that our analysts created the heat maps that the Chief had indicated on, and that our enforcement officers were able to dedicate resources and efforts into very specific locations, times, and days. The results that we're going to share with you as it relates to this project are impressive in the sense that this was really a 7-week enforcement strategy. This wasn't a long-winded 6 months, 1 year strategy. This was 7 weeks, and the return on investment is very impressive. By leveraging the data, we were able to predict when and where the thefts were going to happen. We knew where to look and where to look. And I can tell you that almost every single arrest that we made where the thefts were happening in real time by the thieves. The results of the project included this: 56 arrests, 284 charges laid, 80 vehicles recovered worth about $5.1 million, and 5 search warrants executed. I can also tell you that 13 of the accused persons were on various release orders, and that 21 were from the province of Quebec. We also want to share with you some of the evidence that was seized, the sophisticated equipment that was used by the organized crime element to steal the vehicles from anywhere from seconds to 3 or 4 minutes. That includes magnetic trackers, vehicle reprogrammers, signal and radio frequency jammers, master key fobs, and a few other things that are displayed on the table there. In terms of our community, we understand how the community is feeling vulnerable and afraid. We understand that being a victim of a crime can be very traumatic. And as an industry and as an organization, we're incredibly sorry for those who have been impacted. It's also important for the community to understand just how seriously we are taking this as an organization and as an industry. York Regional Police continues to partner with multiple sectors across the province and across the country, including our law enforcement partners. In terms of us here locally at York Regional Police, with the vision and leadership of Chief Jim McSween and the executive leadership team, we are taking this incredibly seriously, and we are dedicating resources and time to make this an absolute priority. As it relates to AutoGuard specifically, all 4 branches of this organization were attached to this investigation, collectively consolidating resources from everywhere across the organization to ensure that this community remains safe. That's how seriously we're taking this. I'd like to echo the Chief with recognizing some of the people attached to this operation, starting with Deputy Chief Paulo da Silva with his leadership and support as the operational commander of all frontline officers in the region, Superintendent Graham Beverly, commander in charge of all operations at 4 District in the city of Vaughan, and his counterparts in the South End, where the districts were impacted, Superintendent Sonia Desange and Superintendent Ian Hill. And finally, I'd like to thank the most important people, the members on the ground who are working tirelessly and sacrificing time from their families. That includes our crime analysts, our crime prevention officers, our corporate communications, our auxiliary officers, our air support, members from across the organization, led by the investigators from the Criminal Investigations Bureau and our case manager, Detective Sergeant Will Rena, and his investigators, Detective Brandon Kubles and Detective Jason Weiser. Thank you all for your commitment to public safety and for your persistence, for your professionalism, and for your sacrifice.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Brian Gast. I'm the Vice President of Investigative Services at Equite Association. I'd like to thank Chief McSween and York Regional Police for inviting me, and I congratulate them on the tremendous job that they're doing to combat vehicle crimes. They are definitely world-class and are nationally known and internationally known for their great work, and their reputation is phenomenal, which is evidenced by the most recent operation today. Equite, on behalf of the property and casualty insurance industry, plays a significant role by helping Canadians fight insurance crime, which includes vehicle crime. The industry are strong supporters of law enforcement. Although many of them tried to attend today, I am happy to say that Aviva is here, CAA is here, and Desjardins Insurance Companies, just to show support of the great work that law enforcement is doing. We accomplish our contributions through investigative expertise and advanced analytics. The investigative teams at Equite work in close collaboration with CBSA, port authorities, government agencies, CISO, law enforcement agencies across the country, including, of course, York Regional Police. Auto theft has reached crisis levels in this country. Last year, the cost of auto theft in Canada was more than $1.2 billion. In Ontario alone, it was over $700 million. It is estimated that approximately $130 from every insurance policy goes towards paying for the increase in auto theft. Beyond the financial impact, it also seriously impacts people's sense of safety and security. Ontarians are feeling vulnerable. The majority are worried about how this alarming increase in auto theft will impact the crime rate in their communities. And they are especially concerned for their personal safety and the safety of their families. A recent study finds that more than 80% of Canadians feel that they are concerned about their community safety due to the auto theft crisis, while the numbers of stolen vehicles continues to increase after historic highs of 2022. Canada continues to be a source nation for stolen vehicles, with organized crime exporting stolen vehicles through the Port of Montreal and Halifax, or revinning for domestic resale. Profit margins are high, and historically, the risk of consequences are low. As a result, stolen vehicles are frequently trafficked in order to finance or carry out other criminal activities, ranging from drugs and firearms to offences of international terrorism. Ontario's population, high volume of targeted vehicles, and its proximity to the Port of Montreal make it especially vulnerable to theft, auto theft. We applaud the Ontario government, the Honourable Solicitor General, and law enforcement across the country who have taken this matter very seriously and invested heavily to combat these serious crimes. Ontario's auto theft problem cannot be remedied in isolation. It requires this kind of dedication and a collaborative approach through public and private partnerships, ultimately to combat this crime and protect people of Ontario. There's a lot of great work being done, and I'm confident that together we can overcome this crisis. Thank you.